Okay, so good day, class. Before we proceed to our discussion for today, I request everyone to please stand and Miss Nicole, please lead the prayer.
Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of God. And get our Lord is holy name. Let us pray. Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
So, but before you take your seat, kindly look at below your desk. If there are papers, please kindly pick them up. You may now take your seat. Okay, so good morning. Are you feeling great? Have you eaten already?
Yes.
Are you doing great? How are you feeling today? Are you feeling excited of our topic for today?
Yes.
Okay, so before we proceed to our lesson proper, let me get your attendance first. So count off as usual. Count off from 1 to 5.
1,
2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. No one's absent. I see that since no one is absent, and I think everyone is excited for today's lesson, I want you to analyze and let's have a quick recap of what we have discussed of the previous meeting. Anyone? Yes, MJ?
Last meeting, we talked about different sensory images. We talked about how we created images by analyzing the happenings of particular text information we can get of what image we have created.
Very good. I see that you really have learned from our previous discussion. So what else have you learned? Yes, Miss Nicole?
Last meeting, we talked about different, given by the 5 senses we have, I have learned that these 5 senses play an important role in how we can perceive information and how we can relate to life better.
Very good. So that encapsulates our previous meeting. So now, before we dig deeper and go with our proper discussion, let's have a quick activity. So, once again, I am Axel Rose Oslikar, your pre-service teacher, and I will be your English teacher for today. What are your thoughts? So I will be showing you 5 to 6 pictures, and before we have a sharing of ideas and thoughts, I want you to chat down what you think of the pictures that I will be showing. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so first picture. Kindly chat down your notes. What can you observe and what are your thoughts about this picture? Okay, so next picture. What can you observe? What can you say about this? What can you see? Are you done? Next picture. Are you done? This picture, third picture. Next picture. Next picture. And last picture. Are you done?
Yes.
So before we finally go over with our lesson for today, I will be giving you pictures. These pictures are pictures that I have shown earlier, including this one. And I want you to pick a picture. I have flashcards here. I want you to pick one, and after which I will be giving you 1 minute. And after this, I have here 6. And since you are five, and including me will be 6, I will be the one to discuss first about the picture that I will be left with. Okay, so kindly pick. Let's start with you. Okay, so you have 1 minute to think and share your ideas about the picture that you have. You have 20 seconds left. Are you done? Okay, so first I will be sharing to you the picture that I have picked and the picture that is left after all of you have picked. So I have this picture. For me, this is a picture of a man who has no limbs. He is a man with no arms and with no legs. Therefore, as you can see in this picture, he is smiling. In fact, we can say that despite his disability, having no normal body parts, he is smiling despite his disability. He is trying to perceive that people can be happy despite of their imperfections. So let's proceed with you. So you have a picture. Okay, so he has picked the last picture. So yes, Adrian, please share your thoughts.
This is a picture showing children who are trying to fight for their rights because they also have their rights in accessing proper education.
Very good. So as you can see on the picture, it says that child is meant to learn, not to earn. Because as we all know, as children, as they are very young. They are fragile and they are not yet fully capable enough on how the world is going on. And in fact, they have the right to education. They have the right to live life and live life with the support of their parents in order for them to go to school. Because children are not yet fully capable, and in fact they need to learn more, and with learnings they can learn that in school. So next, Miss Trixie, what have you picked? So this one.
This picture shows a person with disability probably being discriminated with normal people. This shows that there are still people who try to judge other people without considering their feelings.
Okay, very good. So as she has mentioned earlier, it is a man with disability. Same with I have shared to you earlier. So the difference is this man is being discriminated, and it shows that he is not being fully accepted by the people in the society. He is being judged because of his disability. In fact, this is quite a norm. This is happening around us, and some of us tend to make judging others a normal one, but in fact it is really not normal to judge other people. It may be PWDs or normal people. So next, Miss Ellen, You have picked this one. Okay.
This picture shows how LGBTQIA protesting and trying to fight for their rights as people.
Okay, so very good, Miss Ellen. You have said that this is a LGBTQIA plus protesting about their rights because, of course, LGBTQIA they are also people. They have their rights to live, and they are fighting for their rights because some people, especially those who are against with the people and people who are involved with LGBTQIA, they're trying to fight for the rights to live freely and without judgment and without feeling criticized by other people. Very good, Miss Ellen. I appreciate that. Next, Miss Nicole. Okay, so you have this one.
Free the animals refers to a concept that tells us people that animals have their right to live freely and accordance to their will because they also have lives. They are not just animals, they are animals.
Very good. They are not just animals, but they are animals. They also have their lives. They also have the right to live freely without feeling suffocated, without feeling controlled by their owners or even those people who are trying to own them. Okay, so last but not least, Miss MJ, you have picked. Okay, that is an interesting picture. What can you say about it?
This picture shows children who are eating food from trash. It may be because of poverty.
Very good. As you can see, the children are eating out of trash. These can probably be the garbage. It is a dump site full of garbages in their place, and you can see that children are not in their proper hygiene because, as we all know, as children as they are fragile. They should be eating food with proper care. They should be put in a safe place, protected and supported with their parents because we might not know what will happen to them if they continue living this. However, we cannot deny the fact that there are really people that has no other choice but to eat out of garbage because of poverty, right? However, they are trying to live, they are trying to survive, and in fact, this is a rampant issue that needs to be addressed to everyone, especially for those who are authorized in allowing this to be eliminated or probably reduced by allowing children to eat out of trash. So now, what do you think is our lesson for today? Any other hand? Any hands? Yes, Miss Trixie? Do you have any idea?
It's all about freedom.
Please stand.
It's all about our rights or freedom.
Very good. Any other answer?
I think our lesson for today is about how it can relate different contexts to real life, such as social issues and concerns.
Very good. So today, as I had the pictures that I've shown earlier, it all talks about the social issues, right? About how people live their lives, and of course, what are the issues that are going on in our society. In fact, our topic for today, Miss Nicole is right, as well as yours, that supports her answer, relating text content to particular social issues, concerns, or dispositions in real life. Have you, maybe you have learned this from your grade 9? This is a topic from your grade 9. This is just a review of what you have learned from your grade 9 year. So, without further ado, let us now focus with our topic for today. Gaming disorder. Can anyone read the slide, please? Yes, Mr. Adrian?
Gaming disorder. Defined in the 7th 11th Division of the International Classification of Diseases as a pattern of gaming behavior characterized by impaired control over gaming, decreasing priority given to gaming over other activities, and continuation or cessation of gaming despite negative consequences.
Very good. Thank you for that, Mr. Adrian. Have you noticed that people are now indulging in or committing in with their phones, right? With the existence of social media, with the existence of technology and different applications that we have right now, people tend to use their phones instead of communicating with other people in person. People tend to chat instead of communicating in person, trying to enjoy the breeze. They tend to chat, and even have you noticed that in, like for example, in family gatherings, instead of asking how everybody is doing, like how everybody is doing lately, but instead they tend to use their phones, trying to capture selfies and everything, and after that they tend to ignore each other and use their phones instead of communicating with each other. And one of this is gaming disorder. Too much using a phone because of committing too much in gaming. This is probably can also be called addiction. It is a pattern of gaming behavior characterized by impaired control over gaming, meaning to say that the use of gaming has now been uncontrolled. It is impaired control over gaming. So the users are not limiting themselves upon their gaming. So we also have the so-called International Classification of Diseases. So it is also called ICD. It is the international standard for reporting diseases and health conditions. So in fact, ICD is one of the organizations that tend to raise and addresses concerns such as the gaming disorder, as I have mentioned earlier. ICD serves as a broad range of uses globally and provides critical knowledge on the extent, causes, and consequences of human disease and death worldwide via data that is reported and coded with the ICD. So you may not be able to encounter with ICD, but in fact, this is one of the organizations, as I mentioned earlier, that tends to address and concerns, especially those serious concerns, human diseases, and even those diseases that leads to death of other people, probably with their different issues within themselves. So now I will show you a clip. So it is connected with the gaming disorder. So I want you to listen carefully. I will be asking questions later on.
I usually play video games 6 hours a week. I only play Fortnite and I play for about 5 hours, maybe 6 hours a week. So I play 3 games for about a total of 6 hours a week.
For a lot of kids, a few hours of gaming a week is pretty normal. But there are some people out there who spend way longer saving the world or fighting bad guys or winning gold. And experts say it can actually be a serious problem. Last week, the World Health Organization announced it's adding gaming addiction to the International Disease Register. It's an official list of all of the world's diseases and disorders. And gaming is down there as a mental health disorder. Basically, a person is considered addicted to gaming if it's having a significant impact on how they live their lives. Like if they're not sleeping, not going to school, and not socializing in the real world. Experts say the reason why people get addicted to video games has actually got something to do with the way our brain responds to them. Have you ever played a game and felt that tingling excitement when you level up or unlock a new feature? Well, that's your brain releasing a chemical called dopamine. People out there who spend way longer saving the world or fighting bad guys or winning gold. And experts say it can actually be a serious problem. Last week, the World Health Organization announced it's adding gaming addiction to the International Disease Register. It's an an official list of all of the world's diseases and disorders. And gaming is down there as a mental health disorder. Basically, a person is considered addicted to gaming if it's having a significant impact on how they live their lives. Like if they're not sleeping, not going to school, and not socializing in the real world. Experts say the reason why people get addicted to video games has actually got something to do with the way our brain responds to them. Have you ever played a game and felt that tingling excitement when you level up or unlock a new feature? Well, that's your brain releasing a chemical called dopamine. That's the chemical that makes us feel happy. The same thing happens when you listen to music, watch something funny, or eat certain foods, like chocolate.
Okay, so what have you observed about the gaming issues and how the WHO, or the World Health Organization, considered gaming disorder as a health or a disorder? What have you observed? Any idea? Yes, Ms. Trixie, do you have any idea? So, as mentioned earlier in the clip that I have provided, you can see that there are a lot of diseases, disorders, such as bipolar affective disorder, dementia, Down syndrome, development delay, and these are all effects of gaming disorder, too much using of gadgets because of gaming. Later on, I will be asking you how can you relate this in your real life situations. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, gaming disorder is one of our rampant issue right now. And later on, again, I will be asking questions about how you can relate it to real life situations, because our topic for today is relating content in real life situations, such as these social issues. So next, are you familiar with this man? He is Nick Vujicic. Vujicic rather. Nick Vujicic instead of saying G-Chick, because he is, I think, in Australia, they tend to pronounce J as Y, so he is Nick Vujicic. He is an Australian American born without arms or legs, as I have presented earlier, right? So he who has become a world-renowned speaker, New York Times best-selling author, coach, and entrepreneur. Anyone can read? Miss Trixie?
Nick faced tremendous obstacles in life, from living life without limbs to being bullied at school and fearful for his future without purpose inside.
Okay, so next, Miss Nicole.
Nick is an anti-bullying advocate who travels the globe speaking to millions of students in partnership with education departments of learning, or SEL curriculum called Attitude is Action, wherein he teaches students to make positive changes in their lives and their communities.
Next sentence, Miss Ellen.
He is also the founder and CEO of the non-profit ministry Lighting Out.
Mr. Adrian, the last sentence, please.
Husband to his beautiful wife,
Kani.
Kani, and father of four,
Okay,
father of four children.
children.
Nick's passion is to inspire and equip the world to know that one can rise above adversity and overcome every disability of art and life.
Very good. So again, he is an Australian American born without arms or legs. So with the information that we have mentioned earlier, all of this information relating it to Nick Vujicic, what can you say about him? How can you relate his disability, and how can you share and inspire other people through him? Any other hand? Any hands? Anyone? Yes? Do you have an idea? Yes, MJ? What can you say about him? generally own opinion. No answers are incorrect. Okay? Yes, Miss. Yeah, sure. You can speak any language that you're comfortable with. Yes, Mr. C.
No matter how life is, how your life is difficult,
Continue. You can speak in Tagalog.
bisan dili ka perfect, bisan naman, bisan dili ka, hindi mo maging successful.
Very good. Any other hand? Yes, Miss.
Despite sa iyang ability, like, murag, iyang disabilities, iyang gihimo o kuan. Kasi sa sige siya gibuli, murag, iyang gimake o kuan nga, magkuan siya nga, iyang paningkamutan para makuan siya. And murag, iyang gihimong inspiration ang mga gipagkaton niya nga storya. Tapos, sa, if kuan, dili sa imong nga, kay sa ligingan nita or something, dili, wala na tayo makabot. Like, kung banikamot man siya, na alam siya tayo kung
Very good. All of your answers are correct, and I appreciate that. Well, as I have mentioned earlier, he is a man without arms or legs, or in fact, he has no limbs. And as you mentioned, that despite his disability, he was able to achieve all of this, and it is very impressive, right? So all of us, especially us, because we are not experiencing what he has experienced, we have complete body parts, and we're living life different from him. We have to be grateful of what we have. We have to live life to the fullest, and in fact, we need to make use of our fullest potential to make people around us happy, be proud of us. Okay, so have you learned anything from him?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, have you learned anything from him?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Right. Okay, so next I will be so social issues. It is a broad topic, but I will be just giving you a heads up. So social issues. A social problem is any condition or behavior that has negative consequences for large numbers of people that is generally recognized as a condition or behavior that needs to be addressed. Do you have, can you think of a social issue that is rampant today? What can you think of some social issues that, let's say for example, is happening here in school or in your area? Yes?
Poverty.
Very good. Poverty, another man? Yes, Miss Andre.
Education, inequality.
Very good. All of your answers are correct. We are experiencing many social issues, and even here we are experiencing bullying. Am I right? There are also children who cannot have their access to go to school because of poverty. So poverty and inequality to education are semi-related with each other. We also have, let's say for example, for your parents, income inequality, right? So to dig deeper, most people in the population recognize this issue as a significant problem that needs to be addressed. Why? Because if these social issues are not addressed and keeps on going over time, of course, our country will never prosper, right? We will always be experiencing poverty, especially those who are in the lower class, lower status in life. The problem goes against the majority of citizens who consider the values of principles of the society. So, again, the issue can be solved through social action. We need to authorize people, especially those government officials. Resources, we need resources, but of course, we also need the help and the support of the government officials. But of course, as humans as we are, we can be helpful. We can have our simple ways to mitigate, to allow these social issues not to go worse, right? Such as, like for example, you students, since you are high school students, you can provide, for example, you have children around your area, you can provide, like for example, during your vacant time, you can provide a tutor, a 1-hour tutor for those underprivileged children whom their parents cannot send them to school. And also, if you have clothes, you have food, and you have how do you call this one? And you have seen that along the streets there are children that don't have any food to eat. You can give your food to them if you have. Okay. So most societies have multiple problems. That is a very big check, right? Societies have multiple problems, and we cannot deny the fact that every day we are experiencing different problems. So there are two components when we talk about social issues. We have subjective and objective. Subjective, can anyone please read the subjective? Yes?
Subjective. Any condition or behavior to be considered a social problem, it must have negative consequences for large numbers of people.
Okay, so subjective component of social issue, it is a behavior that is considered a social problem. So with the word problem, of course, it has already negative consequences for large numbers of people. It could be in the school, it could be the whole community, and even the whole country. So objective, anyone? Yes?
Objective. There must be a perception that a condition or behavior needs to be addressed for it to be considered a social problem.
So objective is somehow similar to subjective. However, when we talk about objective, it is a problem. However, for it to be called a social issue, someone must address this as a problem. Someone must go to the authorities and state that this is an issue to be solved with, that this is a problem that many people are experiencing. So what can you observe about the two? Have you understand the difference of the two?
Yes.
Subjective and objective. Again, subjective, it is already a social problem that have a negative consequences for large numbers of people. And objective, it is a problem. But there should be a person or people that should address this as a problem. That address this for it to be considered as a social problem. Okay, so we have some examples. I want you to please look carefully, understand, because I will be giving some questions to answer later. Subjective component, these are some of the examples. We have poverty, education inequality, income inequality, homelessness, access to healthcare, climate change. Do you agree that these are subjective components?
No.
Yes, they are considered as subjective components because these problems are already have negative consequences to large number of people. Objective component, LGBTQ plus rights. There should be someone that should address this as a social problem because there is criticism and judgments that tends to happen in a society. And in order for it to consider as a social problem, someone must address it. Abortion, gun control, immigration policy, capital punishment, and animal rights. So probably when we talk about objective component, these issues talk more about the rights of people that are having problem because there are people that are not trying to help them, that are trying to, instead of helping them, they tend to criticize them. They tend to judge them. But in fact, as human as we are, we need to help each other, right? Because we are the only ones who will protect each other, because if we will not protect each other, we will not support each other, we will also be the one to suffer at the end, right? Very good. So now we all know families have a significant role in our lives. Do you agree? Do you love your parents?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Families can play an important role in preventing the development of social issues by providing a stable and supportive environment for children and young adults to grow up in. By promoting positive values and behaviors, families can help prevent the development of negative social issues. Do you agree that with the guidance and support of our parents, with the previous slides given with the different examples of social issues, we can help prevent the development of different social issues? Do you think that with the guidance of your parents, we can prevent the development of negative social issues?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, very good. In fact, families can prevent the development of social issues, and these are some ways. Can anyone agree? We have 5. Yes, Ms. Nicole?
Communication, values, support, education, community involvement.
Very good. Thank you for that. Communication. If parents tend to communicate with their children, of course, children will not be able to feel isolated. They will feel supported and they will feel loved and they are not neglected with our parents, right? Values. With proper values, you will know how to sympathize, how to respect other people. That may be people with disability or with normal body figures. Support, education, and community involvement. With all of these are just some ways, but in fact has a big impact to a child, to student's life, because these can actually help to prevent the development of negative social issues. So now, I want you to analyze this information that talks about social issues. What can you say, or what have you learned from the social issue? We have talked earlier about gaming disorder, right? And next we have talked about the person with disability, Nick Vujicic, and now we are bound to social issues. So with the information that I have given you and mentioned to you, discussed to you, what can you decipher from all of that? Any hands? Just your idea. Any dialogue you can use. Yes, Sir Ian, do you have any idea? What have you learned from the social issues, like from the different social issues, and how our families can help prevent the development of negative social issues? Yes, Ms. Andre?
Communication. Good communication within the family can help to prevent misunderstandings and conflicts that could lead to social issues.
Okay, so that falls under with communication. In fact, communication plays a significant role with our lives. So, are you sure that you have learned something from everything that I have discussed?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you sure, louder?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. So now, in order for me to know that we have really learned something from our discussion for today, we have 2 charts here, and I want you to complete the chart. So since that you are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I want you to count off. So the first group will be having the first group will be having 3 members, and the second group will be having 2 members. Is that okay? Okay, so count up, please.
1.
Group 1, please sit here, and group 2, please sit here. So I have here some strips, and this is about the social issues that I have presented earlier. And I want you to identify where these examples belong. So are you really sure that you have learned from the discussion earlier?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure?
Yes.
Okay, so for group 1. Okay, so the first group to finish first will be given 20 points. I will give you 1 minute to complete the chart. So timer starts now after you have you mentioned, you should discuss it with your group mates, and after which I will be giving you 30 seconds to we are almost done, so yeah. Okay, so timer starts now. You have 30 seconds to complete the task. Seconds flat. Twenty. $15. Okay, group 2. Group 2 has finished first. You complete your chart and we'll see that all your answers are correct. So for the information of everyone, we have 6 examples for subjective and 6 examples for objective. So before I check all of these, I want you to be informed with your activity, and this serves as your final examination for today. This will be passed next meeting. Evaluation. Can someone please read the instruction? Yes, Ms. Nicole?
Choose the two social issues if it is subjective and objective. Write an essay about addressing it and what we can do as a student. Make sure to relate it to real life experiences.
Okay, very good. So you can choose any of these social issues that you have put in the instructional chart. And mindful enough of the criteria: content 50%, organization 30%, style 20%, with a total of 100%. So again, for wrap up for today's discussion, we have discussed about relating content to social issues, social problems, and dispositions in real life. So in fact, we are just trying to decipher, we are just trying to relate with our real life experiences to how the world is going. So, have you learned something from today?
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Yes.
ma'am.
So for your assignment, I want you to research the next topic. We will be talking about the different figures of speech. Please take note of that, okay? Please write it on your notebook. So are we good?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. So that ends our topic for today. Class dismissed.